To the Center for Spiritual Living here in Redding, California, where it's sunny and cold this morning. But we are so grateful we have a special speaker this morning and her awesome husband, Andy Anderson, whose music will just lift your spirit up so much. So welcome, Andy. Let's hear from you.
I am prosperous. You are prosperous. We are prosperous. Pretty simple song. Let's all sing it together. I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. Beautiful. Let's sing it again. Oh, I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. I have everything I need. I am prosperous. I am prosperous. You are. Oh, you are prosperous. You have everything you need. You are prosperous. You have everything you need. You are prosperous. You have everything you need. You are prosperous. You are prosperous. We are as a nation. Oh, we are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We are prosperous. See, we are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We have everything we need. We are prosperous. We are prosperous. We are prosperous. And that's the truth.
And that is his latest new song. I love that. It just gets you a good rhythm going there. Very nice. Oh, welcome everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. I'm a staff minister here and serving Reverend Sue Miller-Bourne, who's at the, you're over there now. Okay, you'll see her around. You'll see her around, that's for sure, that's for sure. And we have our wonderful vision of empowering people, inspiring, empowering people to live spiritually fulfilling lives, rewarding lives. That's our goal, that's our passion, what we do here. So if you're with us on the internet and you don't live anywhere near us, oh, we're so happy you joined us. And if you do live near, come and enjoy all we have here, our beautiful campus. All right, we're going to invite the children forward. I see a couple of them, come on. And as we do, please turn and wave at the camera. Lindy's gonna pan around so everyone can see who's here. Good morning, the world. If you're in Paris or South Africa or Fresno, we're just happy to see you. And the children coming up, all right.
You are the face of God. I'll hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
I'd like to thank the members of the team this morning. Lindy is always here early. She's our sound team leader and amazing with all the work she does to keep all the cords and then everything working good. Just amazing. And we have our wonderful ushers and greeters, Doug and Ronnie Herber. Thank you guys for being here every Sunday. We appreciate it very much. And our board member today is Linda Mitchell. Yay, Linda. Good to see you. Thank you for applauding them. You know, it's very special when you make a commitment to be here on Sunday, especially a beautiful day like this. That's great. All right, and we have our reader, Craig Boyer. Yay, Craig. Not today? Oh. Oh, you're doing it. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, you're not doing, oh, no reading. Okay, sorry. If you're new with us today, we are always not this confused, but if you're new with us, if you'd raise your hand, Usher will bring you a welcome packet. And if not, they are the blue folders on the back wall. It has a lot of really, really great information. All right, if you have anything that would beep or squeak or sound like a phone or anything, please turn it off. Not you at home, though. It's okay. You can answer that all you want, but here we like to make it really special. All right, Sue, we're ready for your Conscious Giving program. Oh, sorry. It's a little bit, I'm confused. Announcements. All right, we have a collectibles online marketplace now through December 23rd. Check out the calendar page on the center's website, and there's furniture, art, household items, and a lot of other things for you to check out for your own self for the holidays or Christmas gifts or whatever. So that's the collectibles marketplace. Then our Conscious Giving Pledge Drive starts today in a couple minutes. And then this afternoon from 12 to 2, dear Bonnie and Andy will be giving a wonderful workshop. And it's on, guess what? Nothing's impossible. Everything is possible. And as we head towards the new year, that feels really good. So they'll have some journaling and writing and some good music. And so it's $20 from 12 to 2. It's here, it must be here in the sanctuary. Okay, great. Robin's doing her book club using the book The Alchemist, which is a really popular book. Starts Monday, November 8th from 2 to 4. It's a modern classic. It has sold millions of copies around the world, and it's transforming. That's the word alchemist, transformation. So I think you'd like to do that. And the men's group is meeting Monday evening with Roy Wolfstead, Monday, November 8th, 7 to 9. And they're discussing and creating friendships and issues for men in the way society is today. So there you go. And Sacred Sisters is also meeting Monday, 7 to 8:30. And the question is, what is your special totem? And there's a story of a hummingbird in the Book of Delights that they will be browsing through. And it's blessed to be touched so gently by nature. So come and join the stories of the heart. Thursday, November 11th, the office and the bookstore will be closed for Veterans Day. And then Friday, October 8th, Is that an old one? The music.
It's supposed to be this Friday, November.
Oh, it says October. Okay. No, Friday, November 8th, Spiritual Music Jam led by Michael Harris and Shem Smith. Music that's very uplifting, and bring your own talent to this jam if you want to bring an instrument. It'll be really, really, really fun, 7 to 8:30. All right. The Conscious Giving Program.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. I threw a few things at Mary at the last minute, so thank you for being flexible. And yeah, that's challenging sometimes, yeah. So this is an important, there you are. Thank you for that song, because this month we are dedicated to really looking at our prosperity and what this center also means to you, dovetailing those two ideas. And in a moment, I'm going to invite a couple up that really supports the center in so many beautiful ways through their seva, their selfless service, but through their monetary gifts as well, and just their hearts of being here and being such an instrumental part of the success of the center. But why is this all important? And I want to share, each week I'll share just a little bit of information with you, and I'm looking forward to those that joined the pledge in 2022. I'm going to be doing a free seminar about prosperity that'll help if you're feeling the lack in your life in any way, in any form. This seminar will help build the skills of spiritual truth in your experience as well. But one of my favorite teachers, and one of Dr. Mary's as well, is Raymond Charles Barker. So he speaks of money as money is God in action. And he also invites us to explore, and that's what I invite all of you to this month, is to explore your relationship with money. Since most of us have at one time or another had a mixture of doubt and fear and lack when it comes to some of our thoughts regarding money or our future, or thinking we just have to work more for money. But even as we mention this conscious giving pledge that we have going on this month and continuing on through December for 2022 as we prepare our budget, even as we mention this, I can imagine that some of you might even feel that constricted heart space, and then all of a sudden just kind of, la, 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 when will she be off the stage? But the idea is it takes all of us to allow this beautiful campus to thrive and survive. And it's been a challenging couple years because of COVID. We've had to cancel a lot of things. So our theme this year is the harvest of love, your love, our love, my love, your love, all of us participating together here to grow, to serve, to give. And so there's a time here this month for you to really do that deep reflection. Get clear on your relationship with money. I hear testimony time and again, and it's very powerful when people step in to the avenue of flow, and that's what I'm talking about, the flow of good. The flow of good. You release worry, you release fear, you release resistance to the financial good, the ways abundance can show up in your life. No longer do you feel like I gotta cling to that $5 bill. Whatever it is, you can start to let go and know that as you release, as you put yourself into the flow of giving, you shall receive. It never will fail you. It will never fail you. You'll continue to prosper. So the spiritual idea here is if you can arrive and allow your subconscious, those areas inside where they were imprinted upon you from your childhood. Many of us are children of parents that got through the Depression. That's who we are right now. And many other reasons. Some of the younger generations have their reasons for their subconscious ideas. But as you develop that sincere conviction that there is nothing to worry about in life, that there is a financial good that flows, that's where you want to be, and that's where we can be. So convincing yourself that you're worth it, and what comes when you realize that, experiences of good begin to pour into your life. And the key here is the self-conviction, not because I'm up here preaching it or talking about it, but it's because you're going to experience it. You're going to live it. And it becomes your truth without any limitations imposed upon it. So this is just a small sampling. I'll be at the back table I want to inspire you to realize, and there's the whole team of the board and the practitioners and the ministers are all here to support your financial good. And if you have any areas where you feel really stuck, come see us. Let us do the power of the prayer, affirmative prayer to lift you up, to allow you to be in that conscious good. So I'm going to invite my couple up. Where are they? Linda and Kurt, come on up, and they're going to share a couple of reasons why they are part of the Pledge and Conscious Giving program. And then we'll have the sound of the bell and continue on with our service. So come on forward. Thank you both for being a part of this. Linda, a board member, and Kurt, a past board member. And here they come.
Good morning. I didn't know what Sue was going to talk about. She asked us to come up and say why we come here. And I guess for me, a lot of it is connected to the song we sing to the children. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. And we are connected in so many different ways that I want to support that and keep that going and rolling and rolling and rolling. I turn to poetry a lot. Those of you who know that I teach at a school, I share a poem every day before we start our academic day. And this one is one from William Stafford called The Way It Is. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread. But it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Thank you.
And what I would like to say is sometimes we call this group a church, sometimes it's a center, but I like to call it our community. It's our thread. And we've been members here for a long time. We've all been through a lot together. We've been through different ministers. We've been through economic ups and downs in the country. We've been through heat and fire and smoke and snow, and we're still here. And we are holding on to each other. And I want that to continue. I want us to be here together, and that's why we give to the Pledge program. It's just as simple as that. And so I would encourage you to join us in doing that, just whatever you can, because we want to be here together. Thank you.
I'm sorry, instead. The topic this morning is the view from here. And from my view, this is my prayer. I see in this room so many faces filled with love, so many faces filled with peace, harmony, joy. So much love in this room is being shared by each other this morning, just by all the applause. There's something in us that's rejoicing today, different for each one of us. But that's because we are unique creations of the One, here to express life only as we can in our own individual way. And so this morning, I accept for myself and everyone here that the incredible message from Reverend Bonnie and the music from Reverend Andy. Both incredibly inspiring people traveling around the country, sharing the good news that God is all there is. So in gratitude for being here today to experience that and feeling the love in the room, I am so grateful. And give great thanks to the One. And release any concerns, because today nothing is impossible. And so it is. Reverend Bonnie.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, what a treat it is to be back. I think it's been 3 years since we've been here. It's been a long time. And I just want to say that you see it all the time, so you may not appreciate the way I am, the beauty of this sanctuary. This is one of the most pleasing, beautiful centers that we go in a lot of different centers, and the art and the wood, and it's just the feeling of it. You're really lucky to have this beautiful space to enclose all of your love and your hopes. So we're glad to be here. My topic is Nothing is Impossible. Andy wrote a really great song called Nothing is Impossible, Everything is Possible. That's really inspired me, and actually that's the topic of our workshop this afternoon, talking about how we forget sometimes. But I saw that the CSL topic is the view from above, and it's kind of the same thing. It's when we lift ourselves higher and look at our lives from a different perspective, we see things that we didn't notice. I can't remember the spiritual teacher. I think it was Mary Morrissey, who was going on a hike with Gary Zukov, and they were hiking up a mountain, and they were going to stop and have lunch somewhere. And he was on the path ahead of her, a few steps ahead of her, and he went, "Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful lake. That's where we can have lunch. Look down there. It's just beautiful." And she said, "I don't see a lake." And he said, "No, it's right there. There's a beautiful lake." She said, "There's no lake. I see no lake." And he said, "Well, just step up here with me, a few steps up." And when she stepped up, she looked out and she saw the lake, but she couldn't see it from where she was. And that happens to us sometimes too. When we lift our consciousness and look from a new perspective, we see things that we didn't even know were there. And that fits with prosperity too. We realize that, as Andy's song goes, I am prosperous, rather than being down in the lack. But, we've all accomplished things in our lives that we thought were impossible. You have all done that. You're probably doing something now that you would have thought was impossible in the past. But sometimes we forget who we are. We forget, don't we? We get caught up in the lack and the separation, and we forget that we are divine beings having a spiritual experience. It's easy to forget that. Somehow we get up and we have a higher view, and then we sort of fall down. I know I do, and then I forget, and I think that, I start complaining and moaning and groaning about things. But we have here the greatest teaching to prove that anything is possible. I mean, just read the Science of Mind textbook or any of the many beautiful books in your bookstore. And the principles that we teach are that everything is possible, that our word and our beliefs provide the mold for spirit to fill, that we truly are unlimited. And we have the tools. We teach the tools, the wonderful classes that are being taught here, spiritual mind treatment, meditation, all of the tools that we have in this teaching are to remind us that anything is possible. And we also have practitioners and ministers. And I know I still use my practitioner. Every practitioner has a practitioner. And when I forget, I sometimes call her, and she reminds me. She lives in Arizona now. We used to go to the same church, and I tell her what's going on. She goes, "Okay." And then she tells me why she doesn't believe any of that and reminds me. So we're in the perfect place to realize that anything is possible. I was working on this talk in my office. We live in Roseburg, Oregon, and I was sitting there, and I was getting frustrated, like it wasn't working, and so I went for a walk, which I often do. It sort of helps clear my mind. And as I was walking, we live in a rural area on the river, and the colors right now, as they are here, are so beautiful. And I was walking, just looking around saying, "Oh my God, this is where I live. It's so beautiful." When we used to live in Fremont, California, that's where we were introduced to Science of Mind. And my mom used to press leaves, in wax paper and iron them, the beautiful red fall leaves, and send them to me. And they sent me pictures of the beautiful colored trees, because we didn't have that many in Fremont. And now I live in an area that has a beautiful fall, a spectacular fall. So I never thought that would happen. And we live on the river. That didn't seem possible for me. We have a beautiful home right on the river, and it's so peaceful and serene, and it's really wonderful. And if anybody had told me 20 years ago that this is where I'd be living and this is how I'd be living my life, I would have thought it was totally impossible. I never would have believed it. And if I did, and I sometimes forget, because we talked about forgetting. So here I am in this great place, living where I want to live, in this beautiful area, and the river's right there. And sometimes I'll get up in the morning and say, I have so much to do. This isn't working. I forget, we sometimes forget how good we have it. If somebody had told the Bonnie Anderson of 20 years ago that this is where I would be today, I would say, oh my God, I've died and gone to heaven. This is the pinnacle. And I have to remember that. One of the reasons that I thought that this kind of life would be impossible is that 20 years ago, we were struggling financially. We were in a lack mentality. And sometimes when you get in a lack mentality, you start creating more lack. And that's what we did. We lived in a small 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, and our boys grew up sharing a bedroom, and we all shared a bathroom. Now, if you don't think that was interesting, and as our boys got older, and they're like preteens, they're fighting each other because they're sharing that bedroom. And it was good, but yet it was not what our dream was to be there. It wasn't our dream, and we were wondering how we would get by. To be honest with you, we would get behind on our house payment. We had bill collectors calling. If you've ever been in a situation financially, or if you are, where you have bill collectors calling you, it's a horrible thing, because you don't want to answer the phone. And then I would tell the phone would ring, and I'd say to the boys, don't answer the phone, and they'd already have answered it and be handing it to me. I had to explain why we were late with our payment or something. So it was not a fun time. And so when that happens, you feel guilty, like, why aren't I handling my money better? And you're ashamed, you don't want other people to know. So it was not pleasant. And then we discovered the Science of Mind Church. We discovered the Center for Spiritual Living in Fremont, California, with Dr. J. Scott Neal. And when we walked in the door, they were teaching a prosperity class. Stretton Smith, I don't even remember the name. I can't remember the name of the class right now. It was a unity class, but it was a really good class. We got into that class immediately. We just started taking it. And we studied all the prosperity principles, and we started tithing, and things got better for a while, and then they would go back. So we would take another prosperity. We took every prosperity class there was, over and over, and it just didn't seem like it was working. But my practitioner was great. The same practitioner that lives in Arizona, I will call her and say, I can't believe it. I had money in my checking account, and now it's overdrawn. And she would say, that's a good thing. What do you mean it's a good thing? If it can disappear that fast, it can come back that fast. You can open up your checking account and say, wow, I didn't know there was that much money in there. So I think the thing that happened with Andy and I is that we never gave up. We never gave up. So gradually things just started getting a little better. We would have more money at the end of the month. We'd be able to pay our bills on time. It's like we weren't making any more money, but money got looser. Things got more open, and we were giving. We were able to give to the church. So sometimes we spend time thinking about what could go wrong, don't we? Have you ever been there? You think about, geez, well, this could happen. I could run out of money. I could be broke. And then our mind loves to just create with the imagination, we can create great things. Well, I'll be homeless maybe, or, I'll be alone. I'll never find anybody to spend my life with. Or I'll be sick. I'll always be sick or helpless. So sometimes our mind will tell us those stories. And these stories have power. They have power. You know how I told you that Earnest Holmes says that there's a mold of substance. There's a mold. And when we have a desire or a wish, we create a mold for it, and then Spirit fills that mold according to what we have imagined. And if we tell stories of woe and, of lack and limitation, we're making a mold right there. I'm broke. Spirit says, okay, you're broke. So they have a lot of power. Sometimes we use our imagination to create lack and illness and disappointment, because the imagination is a powerful thing. I think the imagination is a wonderful gift from God, because we have this power to imagine things to be different than they are. Or we have the power to imagine things being horrible. That's a choice that we have. It can be used as a superpower for good. So I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard that when medical students are studying the pathology of disease, they sometimes imagine that they have every disease that they're studying, right? So they're learning about leukemia. Oh my God, I think I've got leukemia. Every disease there, because you study it and you look at the symptoms of it, and I think that's a fairly common thing that happens to medical students. And actually, I've been reading Catherine Ponder. She's an old, been around for years, and there's one called The Dynamic Laws of Healing that I've been reading, and it's a wonderful book. And she tells a story of a very well-known doctor from Harvard, a famous doctor, who was a specialist in Bright's disease. And this was a disease, I'm not sure what it involved, but it was incurable. Once you had Bright's disease, you never got over it. Well, he would give lectures on it and study it and research it, and he convinced himself that he had Bright's disease. But he wouldn't let a doctor check him out, because he said, well, I know I have it, I don't even want to know. And he started feeling terrible. He started declining. And one of his friends saw him, hadn't seen him in a long time, and he looked horrible. He was pale and stooped over, and he looked totally different. He said, what's wrong with you? He goes, I have Bright's disease, there's no cure. I'm going to die from this. And he said, have you been checked out? No, I know I have it. So finally he twisted an arm and got him to be checked out. He didn't have it at all. He had nothing. He had convinced himself that he was ill, and his body was starting to cooperate with that. So once he realized he didn't have it, he gradually got better and got over it. But the mind and the imagination is such a powerful thing. We have to be careful how we use it. And when we realize who we are, we are one with Spirit. We are one with God. We are a child of the divine. We are so lucky to know this. And when you know this, there's nothing that you can't manifest. Like my friend, the great practitioner, said, Bonnie, you should be surprised when it doesn't show up. If you're working to manifest something in your life, not be surprised if it shows up and said, wow, this stuff works. You're supposed to be surprised if it doesn't show up. Because, as I said, we have the tools. We know the truth. And when we picture health, prosperity, and happiness over and over, like when Andy and I were struggling financially, over and over and over again, we gave mind a new picture as prosperous. I am prosperous. And at first you don't believe it, but when you know who you are, it's a whole different thing. So I'm going to read a quote by Earnest Holmes. We are so intimately connected with the universal creative God power that it is impossible to get away from it. We can't get away from it if we try. We're one with it. Hence, we never have to wonder whether or not we are in touch with it. It is where we are, and we are in it. It is in us, it is around us, and flowing through us. We give direction to it. We're the ones that gives directions, and our lives are a mirror of what we're thinking about all day long. Andy's got a great song about thinking too, but it's interesting how it works. And true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is fire from heaven. That's what Earnest Holmes says. It is fire from heaven. So we have this great imagination at our disposal. Have you ever, spent some time with a small child who will tell you what they're imagining? They're playing a game, and they're in a castle, and there's a unicorn, and, all these wonderful things, because they have that power of the imagination. And we have the same thing. To imagine our lives as good as it could get. What scary stories are you telling yourself and telling other people? Dr. J, our teacher, used to tell this story that he was going in a restaurant and he overheard a woman at the next table with meeting with her friends, and she said, "Oh, my hip is just giving so much trouble." She kept talking about her hip and talking about her hip, and then someone else at the table said, "You think that's bad? I have, real pain in my neck." And then the other person starts talking about their knee, and it gets to be a contest. Have you ever been to one of those contests? Who can tell the worst story? And it seems like with health, we all get into it. "Oh, well, you think you're bad. Listen to me." And so when we say those things, we're bringing them to us. I've been telling myself a story about getting old. I'm 72 years old. I'm starting to feel, it in my knees, and, I'm not going to tell you my sad story, but I started getting in that thing like, oh, I'm getting old. This is like the last part of my life. So Spirit started showing me pictures of healthy elders. So I was invited to a birthday party of a woman who turned 80. And she's vibrant, and she's intelligent, and she's an activist, and she enjoys life, and she travels. And her partner is an 85-year-old woman who has dyslexia and reads a book a week. And she's vibrant and alive, and they have a wonderful life together. And I thought, oh, okay, here's an example of people that are a lot older than I am that are very much alive, enjoying their life. And then I was going for a walk the other day, and there's a woman in our neighborhood. Her husband died maybe 10 years ago, and she walks to the mailbox every day. She's a little stooped over, but she looks good, and she's out there walking every day. And she was walking up one of the hills, and I thought, you go, Dorothy. Wow, I don't even like to walk up that hill, and you're walking up that hill. And she's not like robust, she's elderly. So I stopped and chatted with her, and I said, "Man, you're my heroine going up that hill." And she said, "Well, I try and walk every day." And I asked her how old she was. Andy and I figured she was 85, 87. She's 97 years old. 97, out walking up the hill. And I said, "Oh my God." And she said, "Yeah, my driver's license expires next year when I turn 98, and I'm thinking about giving it up. And I'm thinking maybe she's deciding she doesn't want to live any longer than that, that I've lived in long enough." No, she's talking about turning in her driver's license. She still drives. She still drives at 97 years old, and she lives alone and takes care of herself. So, boy, when I started thinking I was getting old, Spirit really showed me pictures of people who were living life fully, and changed my mind about it. So now here we are, Andy and I, living in a beautiful house on the North Umpqua River. After moving here, we came here from California, and we pastored a church for 7 years, and now we're traveling around. Although during COVID we had to stay home, and we liked staying home. We were surprised ourselves because we love to travel, but it's a beautiful spot on the river, and we just kicked back and really enjoyed it. But how did we get from there to here? By remembering who we are, by staying in principle and studying this teaching. Ernest Holmes was our buddy. When we were moving from Fremont, we were scared, and the only thing that worked was the textbook. We had it out on our deck, the textbook, and we would just open it. We'd get scared. We'd say, "What are we doing? We're selling our house and moving. Well, this is crazy." We'd open up the textbook and randomly point to a sentence and read it and just go, that's right. I remember. That's right. So by using our practitioner, as I said, because sometimes we can't get ourselves out of it, and I encourage you have practitioners and ministers here who, when you tell them your sad story, they won't believe a word of it. They'll say, "That's good." And by having faith and using our imagination, because our imaginations are such a wonderful tool. You can play with it, you can create, you can think, if I could have anything, if I could live anywhere, what would I do? If I could, wanted to feel totally joyful, you can try it on, you can dream. And when we do that, we draw our good to us. Rather than sitting around thinking what's the worst thing that could happen, and my mind goes there too, think about what it is that you want. Catherine Ponder said, "Man and woman accumulate a mass of ideas, and with this imagination, mold them into definite results. It is through the imagination that the formless takes form." You're giving form to the substance of the universe. You're giving form when you use your imagination. You're saying, here it is. This is the mold. This is what I want. Not what I don't want, but what I want. Charles Fillmore said, "When the faculties of the mind are understood in their threefold relation, spirit, mind, and body, it will be found that every form and shape originated in the imagination. With the power of imagination, we dream, we envision, we generate vibration. We raise our vibration. Imagination is the power to co-create with God. And we were born with it. And we can co-create lack and illness and getting old, or we can co-create the beauty of the joy and full living. It can be used to scare us just as easily. So what scary stories do you tell yourself? What keeps you up at night? We all have a place that we go sometimes, and I encourage you to remember that those scary stories we tell ourselves have power. Pick up your phone and call your practitioner. Pick up a book and open it to a page and become inspired and remember the truth. We have a power for good, and we can use it. It's a wonderful gift that we've been given. We just have to choose to use it. I have a friend, you may have a friend like this, who talks about her physical ailments all the time in great detail. I have a broken foot, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, and I'm on the phone with her, I'm hearing it again, the same story again, and probably why this is bugging me is I probably do that too, right? So she's telling me all this, and I already told her that, you know what you talk about, she's not a religious scientist, but what you talk about, really comes into your life. And she went, oh, that's interesting, and then went right back to talking about all her aches and pains. So I tried to try a new thing. I said, why don't you come over next week and we'll make treasure maps of health for health. And that's one of the things that Catherine Ponder talks about from a long time ago, treasure maps where you make a circle on a piece of paper and you divide it into quadrants if you want, for health, for prosperity, for different things, or you can do it all in health or all in anything you want. And you cut out magazines and images from the that you find of health, glowing health and things that you want to do, and paste them on there, and then just look at that. When you start to feel like you can't have what you want, you look at that. So we did that. We sat there and we were searching for pictures of hiking and kayaking, and, you know, just rather than talking about the stories of what wasn't working, we concentrated on the images of things we wanted to manifest. So it was really fun, and it switched it. Now, I haven't, it's been a few days, I haven't heard her story yet, but I don't know if she'll pick it back up. But it's just a matter sometimes of, what was the topic? The view from here is raising your view, going up a few more steps on the mountain so you see the whole picture, so you see what is possible. See it, feel it, picture it. It's not difficult. It feels difficult when we're down in the dumps. But we all have created things in our lives that we thought were impossible, that we're actually living now, or close to living, or we lived before. So notice those things in your life that you thought were impossible that came true. A lot of people thought they could never have a relationship and they find one, or they could never have ease with money and they have that. It's the tools are here. We're all in the right place. So Mary Oliver said, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" We have this one wild and precious life. And what do we want to imagine? We can imagine anything. You can imagine your wildest dreams. So think about that one and precious life, and how you want it to look. So let's pray. Let's have a treatment. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes, take a breath. And every moment of every day, I want to remember who I am. I am a child of the divine. I am one with the Most High. I get to choose the mold I make for God's good to flow in and flush it out and make it flesh. I am more powerful than I can even imagine, more loved than I can even imagine. And when I set my sights on the lofty goals that my imagination gives me, God says yes. God always says yes. So as I go forth, I remember to notice the stories I'm telling myself, and let go of the stories of lack and limitation and illness, because those are not true. And I remember who I am. As I remember who I am, anything is possible. Anything. Nothing is impossible. And I remember that there is no large or small in spirit. There is nothing too difficult for God. God knows not lack or illness or struggle. So I take a few steps up the mountain so I can see in the clear air, up where the eagles soar, where I can see the truth where I can breathe the cool, clear air and remember the truth. And as I do this, I am an example for others as they see me live my life of joy, using my imagination to picture what I want. They can become inspired also and remember the truth. And I am so grateful for this teaching that reminds me of the power that I have. I am so grateful for this community where I am around like-minded people as we support each other on this journey. So with great joy and positive expectancy, I release this into the law, knowing that it is good and it is very good. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you, everyone.
Sometimes I lose my way, and even in the darkest day, there's a light always shining bright, leading me into the light. When I stumble, can't find my way, something within will always guide my way. I listen to that voice inside, reminding me that's where my love resides. Every day is a perfect day to surrender and let it lead the way. It's in my life, it's all I am. I release and let go. I know
Nothing is
nothing's impossible. Oh, and when I forget it, I go back and I remember. Oh, you see, I know, nothing is impossible. Oh, and when I forget it, oh, I go back and I remember. Oh, things in life will always come and go. It's so good to know what you know, you know. We are free and one with all of life. Keep smiling, everything's alright. I am lifted each and every day. Truth and love, oh, it's my way. And I am marvelous, and I am beautiful. I celebrate, speak my word, and know, oh, nothing's impossible. Oh, and when I forget it, I go back and I remember. Oh, you see, I know, nothing's impossible. Oh, and when I forget it, I go back and I remember. Oh, yeah. Nothing's impossible with spirit, with love, everything is possible. in my neighborhood. Everywhere I go, I'm one with the universe. Just let it flow. I look all around me, it's all I see. Oh, the gift's already given to me. It's up to me to know and believe. Speak my word, today I'm free. Oh, nothing's impossible. Oh, and when I forget it, I go back and I remember. I am marvelous, I am prosperous, I am beautiful. Oh, and when I forget it, I go back and I remember. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I am beautiful. I am wonderful. Oh, and sometimes I will do when I forget it. Just go back and remember. Nothing's impossible. That's the truth.
Boy, we needed that. We needed that. Phew. You know, I was having a vision, I was having an imagination of being in your house by the river with him playing and all those musicians there just dancing. And, oh my God, that is just.
We do have some pretty good concerts on the deck during the
Do
summer.
you?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, send me an invitation. Oh, no. But, oh, awesome. Oop, I dropped a pencil. Okay. All right, it's time for our offering. If our ushers would please come forward. And I have something new to share with you. As I prepare to give my offering to the center, I remember the overflowing power of divine life energy overcomes every obstacle and pours out into the world, blessing and prospering everyone and everything through me, that is you. You radiate blessings. You radiate creativity. You radiate prosperity. And you radiate loving service. Through this vision of you and me, the world is blessed. I'm so grateful for the abundance that is on the way for you and me, and the abundance that we currently have. And so today, we share our good with joy, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Andy. With intense gratitude for the gifts given here this morning, the gifts sent in the mail, the gifts that just come from the heart of so many people who love this center and this teaching, we are uplifted. We are lifted so high. The view is so fantastic, how this center helps the whole community and the world, how Centers for Spiritual Living is so vibrant in the world. It's with these gifts that it happens. It's the support of you and me, and the board and the ministers and all the congregants and all the friends, near and far, say thank you. And so it is. Well, you know, it's 11. I hadn't changed my watch. I'm like, oh my God, it's now 11. And the workshop is at noon. So we have, I don't know what's going on in the social hall, but I'm sure it's something good. Or run your errand or whatever and come back at noon for a 2-hour workshop with these most magnificent people. $20, an incredible investment in your future. And so I'm going to close with something new. If you would repeat after me. This day, I recognize God, and God is my substance, my supply, and my support. And that's the truth. All right. Charlie and I will be here as practitioners if you would like a spiritual mind treatment. If you have any questions, whatever, we'll be here for you. And we have a closing song.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, let's do it.
I am a light.
Oh, nice.
I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Oh, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.